Now I realize I'm a bit late with this, but I feel it's still worth talking about. Internet and online interactivity have been very relevant for years now, and that includes online gaming. It started in the 6th generation of consoles, but it really blew up in the 7th. Despite that, it wasn't until the second half of the 7th generation that I even got internet and started playing video games online. I'd accidentally purchased MAG for the PS3 back in the day and was pissed because it was online only. I was expecting a single-player story, but I didn't get one. I essentially purchased a game I couldn't even play. The games I found myself playing were offline games like Metal Gear Solid 4, Resident Evil 5, Call of Duty 4, Uncharted, and ironically Army of Two, an EA title. Many of those games have multiplayer modes, but also have single-player stories and single-player modes as well. And speaking of Uncharted, Amy Hennig, one of the geniuses behind the Uncharted series, was the one running Visceral Games' new Star Wars game, published by EA. But apparently, a single-player only experience wasn't good enough for EA. They wanted another multiplayer title so they could presumably shove loot boxes, microtransactions, and other things like that in there and make more money by milking the consumer. The term they used was, quote-unquote, keep the player coming back. But what EA doesn't understand, one would assume, is a good single-player experience, like The Last of Us, for example, will keep the player coming back long after either of the servers have died out or it becomes infested with hackers, etc. But EA does know this. They're not stupid. They just want players to spend more money when they come back. Hell, what's really ironic is the fact that both Titanfall and Battlefront were both heavily criticized for the lack of a single-player campaign. Guess what? Both of their respective sequels have those now. Both EA franchises, mind you. The shittiest part is EA shut down Visceral Games, the developers of the Dead Space series, who was developing this new single-player Star Wars experience as well. Why'd you have to shut them down, EA? You could have just A, moved the project to a different studio without shutting down a well-known, well-liked studio, or B, let Visceral make their Star Wars game and have another studio make a second version of Battlefront 2, essentially, or whatever Star Wars game you wanted them to make. Some sort of online-only or online-heavy loot box-filled video game. You're a big publisher with lots of money. You could handle it. But you didn't. You failed. You failed the consumer. And you were just out to make money, and that's why you failed. Now, you may have noticed I haven't mentioned Wolfenstein 2 yet, and the vid's almost over. But that's because it's the finale to this story. The phoenix rising from the ashes that was Visceral Games and their canceled Star Wars project. Metaphorically, of course. Machine Games and Bethesda, the developers and publisher of Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus, made a bold decision to make this game a single-player only game, because, I quote here, the multiplayer would take away from the money and man-hours put into the story mode. Fuck yeah! That was a bold move that I have to applaud. It makes it feel like Machine Games cares a little bit more about the player experience rather than their bottom dollar. Although I'm sure that is also important to them, but still. It's just good to see devs out there still see the importance of the single player experience. And the winner between Wolfenstein 2 and EA, it's easily Wolf 2. This has been an Evil Resident. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Do you agree? Do you have different opinions than mine? Hey, it's okay to have those. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.